Hi, everybody. Happy Friday, and welcome to this week's Facebook Live broadcast. I have a special guest on with me today. But before we get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Elke Feuer. I'm an author and the founder of K Writers, and I help writers reach their writing goals by providing them with easy to implement strategies. Now, my guest today is Kalila Bodden. She's an MD, a wellness consultant, and freedom lifestyle coach. Now, I met Kalila, we're both from the Cayman Islands, and I met her when she came to my first book signing. And we just had a wonderful instant connection. And she later attended one of the K-Writers meetings that I hosted while I was in the Cayman Islands. And a couple of years ago, I began following her posts on nutrition and health. And I found it so enlightening and so informative that I invited her to do a workshop at the last Cayman Islands Book Fair, which is an annual event that I host. And the information the presentation she did was geared towards writers and how nutrition affects their creativity. The content she created was just so on point and so easy to implement. And when I incorporated it into my own life, it just made such a huge impact that I wanted her to come on and share those tips with you today. So welcome, Kalila.
Thank you, Elke. This is awesome. I've been so excited about doing this with you all week.
Yes, me too. And I know you've got some great tips for us. I'm going to go ahead and start with the questions. Yeah. The first question is, what made you decide to focus on preventative medicine?
So, Elke, wellness has always been a huge passion of mine. It's like the first reason why I went to medical school in the first place. And wellness, health and wellness, it plays a huge role in our life because it helps to dictate how long we live, but also how well we live our life. Like how healthy are we? Are we active? Are we able to enjoy the life that we're provided?
Yeah.
So health begins with nutrition. That's step number one. So a lot of my focus is on the correct nutrition for your body type and your preference as well. Because throughout my time in medicine, throughout my time as a wellness coach, I realized there is no one size fits all for health. It's all personalized. It depends on your body, your preferences, your culture, what you like, because that's what's all going to help make that difference.
Absolutely. And how do you feel nutrition impacts our focus and our clarity?
Well, I mean, nutrition is the basis for health, but it has a direct impact on focus, clarity, energy, concentration, particularly for writers, because as writers, we're kind of sitting at the laptop or, writing the entire time. And we do these long sessions. And to write a book, it's not a sprint, like it's a marathon. We have to be able to be there for the marathon. It's the full 26 miles, right?
Exactly. Yes, for sure.
So nutrition plays a huge role in that. And it's only when I started really getting into the wellness side of health that I realized how much nutrition impacts our lives, but also directly impacts what we do each day. So if you're writing each day, your nutrition is totally going to impact how long you can write for a session, how often you're going to do writing sessions, and how well those words are coming out.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't want to spoil it. I'll wait for the last question before I jump in and tell my own personal experience. So I'll hold on to that one. Now, what nutritional changes would most writers, especially with regards to our creativity, would help writers, especially with regards to our creativity, focus, and clarity?
So when we think of writers kind of in general, I don't know about you, but when I go to a coffee shop, I used to be like plunked down with like my double latte, blueberry muffin, maybe not have a croissant on top of that at some point. And it feels so good because we're having these kind of comfort foods as we're typing in our laptop. The smell of coffee is in the air. It's awesome. Yeah. The problem is when we're having so much processed foods, particularly with the sugars that are in all of those yummy pastries in the coffee shop, it directly impacts our metabolism, our energy, and therefore it's going to impact our focus and concentration. So when we think of like the cookies and the cakes and the pastries and the muffins, those are super high in sugar. And we know that sugar, when we ingest it, it goes straight into the bloodstream. Our insulin starts to spike. We get this huge energy rush. So we're like typing away, feeling really good. And then we get the crash. We get the crash and we feel a bit sluggish. And we're kind of like, well, what just happened? I'm tired. I'm on Facebook because I'm just procrastinating from writing some more. We've all been there.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's sugar. So then we go and have another pastry, or we have another double shot of espresso just to get back that focus that we had. And we feel good for a little while again, and then we have the crash again. So it's like the cycle that we're taking our bodies multiple times throughout the day, and our bodies get tired of that. So we end up having crash after crash. It's impacting our writing because we're all distracted. When we have a diet that's high in sugar, it's been shown to increase the jitters and increase anxiety. So if we're all kind of hyped up and anxious, we're not sitting down to write for a 2-hour session.
Yeah.
And also, when we go through these cycles day in and day out with the sugar rush, sugar crash, sugar rush, sugar crash, that leads to, research has shown that leads to increased risk of depression in adults. And then when you're depressed or you're feeling down or you have any depressive symptoms, it's super hard to get motivated for your writing sessions and to finish that novel.
Yeah, and just to share my experience with that, because I love coffee and I love lots of sugar in my coffee. And, after watching your presentation and doing the adjustments and asking those questions, and I now use the stevia drops. And it's made such a difference because I found that I couldn't use those artificial sweeteners. Those are like the worst thing ever. They would give me headaches and just so much. And then I realized with all that, sugar in my coffee, because I was having 3-4 cups a day and putting like as much as 4 sugars, and I couldn't figure out. And then I started getting what I call brain fog from all of the processed foods and the donuts and the muffins and even the croissants, that I was having all this brain fog, and I was just like, I can't concentrate, I can't focus. What is going on? And, when I was able to, get the information from your workshop and implement it, wow. And these aren't anything that's like a huge, major, lifestyle change. I thought sugar was going to be a big one for me to have to give up in my coffee, but the stevia, it's like 1 to 2 drops, perfect. And it gives you that same flavor. It takes a little getting used to, don't get me wrong, but it's not like giving up donuts, it's like, thank goodness I'm not a huge donut fan. Thank God for that. But, it's just a small change and just other little things that I implemented, which I'm going to ask you in the next question, that made such a huge impact. The amount, and just in our chat that we had earlier today, the amount of things that I have been able to accomplish since you did the workshop, I believe is in October, November, and it's March, and I have done so much that I can get done throughout the day that it is phenomenal. And then also when you start to have those crashes, you recognize that, oh, hey, that's what this is. I need to make this change. So you're not only making the change, but you also recognize what you need to do so that you don't go so far down that road that you're, like you said, you get depressed, you're on that sugar high rush, and then you lose hours or days trying to get back on track. And that's what was so phenomenal for me, and that just made such a huge impact. And which leads me to my last question, which is, authors love to snack when they're writing. I mean, I know I'm notorious for that. And, you can only drink so much tea to curb those snacking cravings. And, what foods would you recommend instead of the normal unhealthy foods and drinks that, we tend to choose?
Yeah, no.
With clarity and, focus.
Absolutely, Elke. And I just want to kind of go back to your last comment right before I answer that. That is so amazing that you saw those changes so quickly. And now you are an Energizer bunny. Everything that you're doing in your writing business is crazy.
I know. It's just been amazing.
And the thing the things that we're going to be talking about today, and I'm so happy that you said it, like it's almost instantaneous difference that you notice. It's not like you
Yeah.
have to, give up your favorite love of your life and then wait 6 months to see benefits. Like this is, you can start this stuff today, and by tonight, you'll start seeing a difference in your energy and how you
Yes.
sleep and your focus as well.
Yes, absolutely.
So authors love to snack. I know I love to snack when I'm writing. And it's just kind of natural because we're kind of there in the flow, and our brain does use glucose when we're writing, thinking up those plot scenes and those twists. So it's only natural that we would crave sugar. But there are some snacks that you can have that allows you to increase your satiety. So you're able to stay fuller for longer, stay focused for longer, as well as stabilize your blood sugar so you're not on the sugar roller coaster with the sugar rush and crashes. And one of my favorite snacks to snack on is snacks that are high in protein. And the reason why I absolutely love snacking on protein is because, first of all, most of us don't get enough of that in our day-to-day diet. And I'm going to say that because if you want to say the standard American diet or the usual dietary guidelines are very carb heavy and very protein light.
Yeah.
And the challenge with that is that if we're not getting enough protein to feed our muscle, we're not getting that satiety, we're craving the carbs because those are addictive to begin with. And it's harder to lose weight as well. So you're going to increase your feelings of feeling full when you snack on protein, increase fat loss as you're sitting at the typing, on the computer. So that's a bonus. Prevent osteoporosis. So there are a whole bunch of benefits to eating snacks that are high in protein. And some of those snacks, sometimes people can have a challenging time finding what are high protein snacks. Because if we walk through our aisle in the grocery store, if we look at the nutritional information, it's all probably going to be mostly carbs.
Yeah.
So it takes a little bit of finding, but there are snacks that taste really good that are high in protein and they're going to help your writing. The first example of that is beef jerky. Now, beef jerky, either love or hate it.
Yeah.
There's no in between. I don't know about you, but
I love it.
You love it?
Yes, I do.
That's hilarious. So I don't like it at all. My husband absolutely loves it. My nephew absolutely loves it, and it's such a good snack because it's being usually trimmed off fat. It's in strips, and it's really convenient as well. You get it in beef, chicken, turkey, salmon. So it's really handy to have. It kind of gives you that nice salty flavor that you're looking for, and it's high in protein. So it's a win-win kind of all around.
Yes.
The second one that's a really good snack is trail mix. And I recommend making your own because it's really simple, or getting a good quality one. Do you make your own trail mix?
I do. That's my go-to. I normally have
Hey, awesome.
next to my desk.
So trail mix, exactly as you know, it's really amazing because it's going to be high in protein. You're probably going to have some dried fruits, some dried nuts. You have a little bit of glucose in there from the fruits, or fructose in there from the fruits. You have your nuts to give you fat. You have some seeds to give you some protein. And that mix keeps you very full for a long time, even just having a little bit.
Yes. And I find it actually having that snack when I'm starting to lose focus or my attention starting to wane, I just grab a couple handfuls of that and it's just like an energy boost, and I am back on track, and I've got my second wind, and watch out.
Absolutely. So, trail mix works really well. Another snack that we can have are turkey roll-ups. These are, if you get some really good quality deli meat. Now, deli meat is sometimes hit or miss. You have to look for, the humanely raised, no nitrates deli meat. Put in some veg, some cheese, you roll them up, stick them with a toothpick, put them in the fridge. They're just so easy to just pop into your mouth. Really high in protein, well balanced with the cheese and veg.
Yes.
And it's kind of an easy go-to. So turkey roll-ups, they're also easy to make as a snack to keep on the side of your desk, in the fridge, or in lunch kits, even to send to school with the kids. So it's an all-around kind of snack for the family.
I do them for my kids with the turkey and the cheese. They love it.
Nice.
Because we're not a big meat eating family, and unfortunately, that's where we kind of lose out. So I have to look for other alternatives of where to find the protein. So yeah.
Those are so handy, and kids love them because they're a good size for them as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Another snack that's high in protein is canned tuna. So this can be made ahead of time. Usually personally I like to do is I'll drain out the tuna, put it in a bowl, add some organic mayo, some chopped up onions, and some Scotch bonnet pepper and a little bit of pepper sauce. Maybe celery really small because I don't really like celery, but it adds like a crunch.
Yeah.
Mix that all up and have that on cucumbers, like sliced cucumbers, or have them with multigrain crackers.
Okay.
So it's just something that tastes really good. Tuna is really high in protein, and it's really healthy to have as well.
You know, I used to love tuna, but the last few years I've just completely gone off of it. Yeah, and it's a shame, and I can't even stand the smell of it anymore. If it's tuna sushi, I could probably, like on a nice bed of rice, I could wing it, but no.
That's hilarious. Well, we can skip the canned tuna.
Absolutely.
And I want to know, okay, have you ever tried egg muffins? Those are super high in protein as well.
Oh, yes. That is what I don't make them as often as I used to, but when I first moved here to the States, I used to do, and I did them at home, but I did them more here, and they're just a quick, easy breakfast. Unfortunately, my daughter eats them because she likes eggs. My son won't touch them. He does not like eggs, unfortunately, which makes it really difficult. But, I make those. I love them. And you just pop them in, put them in a Ziploc bag in the fridge, just take it out, heat it up for a second. I absolutely love those. That's my go-to breakfast, as well as occasionally I like to have over easy eggs. Eggs for me are my big protein breakfast.
Nice.
For sure. Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, and I find it makes such a huge difference to how it sets my day up when I have it versus when I skip through and just have an extra cup of coffee and then wait for lunch. I regret it every single time. And I'm like, what was I thinking? But yeah, the eggs muffins, especially like I said, I work from home, so I have the advantage of being able to make my breakfast when I want to. But, it's just when I used to work, it was so convenient to just grab one of those and heat it up at work. I love them.
Yeah. Yes, and that's the thing I absolutely love about the egg muffins. So for those of you who may not be familiar with egg muffins, they're really healthy snacks. They have a lot of protein in them, and you make them by, cracking a few eggs, mixing it up, adding some chopped up veg, whatever veg you like. It could be sweet peppers, cauliflower, broccoli, jalapenos, onions.
I've added spinach in mine too.
Spinach is awesome.
Yeah.
Chopped up bacon that's already cooked. Whatever you usually like in your egg, and you pour them in muffin tins as if you're making muffins, and you stick them in the oven, and they come out and they're like muffins but made of egg with protein, and they'll have the balance of you can put cheese, bacon, veg in it, so you have an all-around breakfast that, as Elke said, you can just stick in the fridge and take them out as you're eating them and heat them up.
Fantastic and so easy.
Super, super easy. So another snack that I personally love are protein shakes. These are, of course, naturally high in protein. And if you get a good quality protein shake, now there are a heck of a lot of protein powder out there that are full of chemicals, artificial sweeteners, all these artificial colors. But there are quite a few of them. If you know what to look for, you're looking for protein powders that have a handful of ingredients that you can pronounce, and that probably taste good and that they mix well. And this is just a really handy snack. So in between your coffees or your teas, to have a protein shake in, it's going to get some calories in, it's going to get some protein in, and it's going to fuel you to continue writing. Also, one of my favorite ways to make a protein shake is to put like a scoop or two in a blender, add like half a banana, tablespoon of almond butter, some ice, a little bit of water or almond milk, and I just mix that up, and it tastes a little bit of cinnamon. It tastes like a dessert.
Oh, it sounds like it. Yeah. Especially with that almond butter. Wow.
Yes. So those are some of like really easy snacks, protein snacks to incorporate in your writing. The second macronutrient that we want to make sure that we're having, because we're all carb heavy, carb loving people, is the fats. Fats can be really high if you're having a lot of those pastries and desserts. But when we have healthy fats, it actually helps us to concentrate. It keeps us full. Fat is actually an energy source. So if our body, I'm sure you've heard of the low carb diet and everything like that, the keto diet. When we go low carb and we're not eating enough carbohydrates, our body's able to process fats in a way so that our brain can have the glucose it needs to continue. So fat is an energy source. It keeps your brain going for those long writing sessions. It also makes food taste better. Like low-fat food tastes like crap sometimes.
Yes. That is so true. Absolutely. There's some things that I just do not substitute for low fat, and it's not worth it.
No. And all those kind of chemical low-fat foods tend to be much unhealthier for us than just a dab of real butter or real full-fat milk.
Yes.
So fat is also a mood stabilizer. It decreases irritability when we have healthy fats. So it makes sense to include it in our diet if we're getting frustrated with our writing. And some problem that we can't fix, like not that we've all been there.
Yes, exactly.
So some nice sort of snacks to intermix with the protein snacks would be snacks that are good with healthy fats. And one example of that is cheese. If you get a really nice sort of grass-fed cheese from Ireland, from New Zealand, or some cheeses that you like, if you like Parmesan or mozzarella and get a pizza mix, it's really filling, and cheese is high in both fat and protein, so it's kind of a win-win on both sides. And one study in overweight men, calorie intake decreased by almost 10% after they consumed cheese for a snack versus eating regular carbohydrate snacks.
Wow.
Cottage cheese is also known to be really high in protein.
Yeah.
So it's really filling. It's a good source of other important nutrients as well. So again, you get your fats and your carbs. And I don't know, Elke, if you've ever tried chia seed pudding.
What was that?
Chia seed pudding?
I haven't. The only time I've actually had chia seeds is in a protein shake where I've kind of added it.
Right.
But that's as adventurous as I've gotten.
So it's sort of strange if you're not used to the texture of chia seeds, but if you put it in your protein shake, it's that little crunch in your liquid. So chia seed pudding became a really popular snack a few years ago because it tastes really good, but it's also high in fat and protein. So it kind of hit all the marks. It was a hit with the paleo and the primal community. So it's kind of you'll see it on Pinterest and Instagram all over the place. It's chia seed pudding.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
So to make chia seed pudding, usually we get like a mason jar. We pour like a can of organic coconut milk in, or a few tablespoons of chia seeds, a tablespoon or two of organic maple syrup, and maybe some vanilla extract or some cocoa powder. Mix it up, stick it in the fridge overnight. And in the morning, you have your chia seed pudding for breakfast.
Wow, that sounds amazing, actually. I might I think I've seen that floating around somewhere. I'm sure I saved it as a video on Facebook to try later. So I'm going to have to go through and definitely dig that up because that does sound good.
It's yum. It's really yum. If you want to intersperse it with the egg McMuffins or you want to have it as a snack while you're writing. It's a good go-to. Nuts are also another snack that's really healthy for writing because it's full of really good fats. And just a few nuts keeps us really full to continue writing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't spike the blood sugar and it keeps that sort of stable blood sugar going. So you're getting your fats, you're getting a little bit of protein, you have a stable blood sugar, you're feeling full. That'll power you through a long writing session.
I can attest to that. Yeah, absolutely. My trail mix mostly consists of a mixture of nuts, and that's done the trick for me, especially, like I said, when I start to get that afternoon lull, it just gives me that second wind.
Absolutely. Nuts are perfect for that. So Elke, I also wanted to touch on a couple things that you mentioned at the beginning, like coffee and your green tea.
Yes.
So coffee in and of itself is actually really good for focus and concentration. It's when exactly is it? It's when we start adding in the sugar and all these flavored creams to the
Yeah.
coffee that we start getting the sugar rush and the spikes. But having a bit of caffeine every day actually sort of perks us up and keeps us going, and totally improves focus and concentration. Study after study has shown that. So black coffee or coffee that's sweetened with a little bit of stevia is perfect if you want to sit down with that with your writing.
Yeah.
Green tea as well. Green tea doesn't have as much caffeine as
Mm.
coffee, but it has antioxidants as well. So
Yeah.
there are huge benefits to drinking both. And
Yeah,
I
that's
definitely
sort of my
recommend a cup or
that's
two a
my
day.
green tea is really sort of my afternoon beverage, because the coffee is just too much caffeine. I won't be able to sleep. Like, I'm already like you said, the energizer bunny. I don't need additional help with that.
And lastly, wanted to touch on chocolate because I know I love chocolate, and I'm pretty
Mm,
sure most writers love chocolate.
yes.
And the chocolate that we want to be going for to eat as well as to power us through our writing sessions is the dark chocolate. Anything
Yes.
above 70 to 85% dark chocolate, real cocoa, that's the stuff because dark chocolate has antioxidants similar to the green
Mhm.
tea, contains caffeine, so it's going to keep you going, and it's a nice sort of crunch and snack to have.
Yes.
If sometimes what I do with trail mix is I'll break up like a bar of organic dark chocolate and I will just mix that in with the trail mix.
That is a great idea because I just bought this dark because I prefer dark chocolate anyway, but I'm being more conscious because I noticed that it wasn't sort of giving me the same perk as I know, and I figured it was because of the quality of the chocolate.
Yes.
And I just bought this chocolate that was just pure. I think it's 85%. Now
Uh-huh.
it's good, but the flavor it takes a little
It's a
getting
bit
used
bitter.
to. Yes, it is very bitter. But I love the idea of breaking it up and adding it to your nuts or your trail mix. I am definitely going to try that one.
Awesome.
'Cause
Awesome.
that just craves my sweetness, so I don't sort of eat something that is really not going to help. It might help my taste buds, but that's as far as it's going to go, right?
Absolutely. So that's kind of a wrap up of the really good snacks to eat while writing, the protein, the fats, so that we can keep pushing through on those writing sessions without the sugar crashes and stuff that tastes good too.
Oh yeah, and I love that you added so many options because I think sometimes we think, oh, it's only chocolate or it's only coffee, but the truth is there are a lot of different options, and I love what you said as well too about looking at products with protein that are high in protein. I actually started doing that after your presentation and
Ah,
really looking at it, and I was amazed at how many products that you think, oh no, that's not going to be a good one, that it is, and it's stuff that I like. So, that like I was saying, that one change just made such a huge difference. And, there are a lot of options. It's just a matter of thinking about it and really being aware as well, too. So I love that you gave us so many options to choose from because, every author is different and we don't all like the same things, but we still want that clarity and that focus and, that consistent drive to be able to write for long periods of time. So thank you so much for that.
absolutely, Elke. It was my pleasure.
Now, recently, your business has headed in a different direction. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I started off my online business doing wellness coaching and consulting. And I was very much into helping my clients live a well life.
Yeah.
So I want not you to only be healthy, I want you to be happy, I want you to be content with your life because that is what decreases stress levels. That's how you get that long, healthy lifespan, which is what we're all going for. Um, and what I kept seeing time and again are clients who are making progress on their weight goals, their exercise goals, their health goals, but they're still in a very stressful job. And I know 99% of everyone out there has a very stressful job.
Yes.
And what I was finding, there were only so far we can go with nutrition and exercise before people would say, well, I can't exercise this week because of something happening in your job, or my
Yeah.
boss gave me this to do. And it's directly impacting their life.
Yes.
And I realized part of a well life is being happy and fulfilled with what you're doing every day, whatever your work is, whatever your job is, because we're going to be spending hours a week and years of our life doing it. And if it's going to negatively impact us,
Oh,
then how much benefit can we get with nutrition and exercise?
oh, absolutely.
So I started looking into how can I help my clients better? And this is kind of how Freedom Lifestyle Coaching was born, where I'm helping ambitious introverted women not only live a well life, but to start and grow their online coaching business so that they're able to attract clients naturally and create this freedom lifestyle so that they get to decide when they work, who they work with, and their own schedule and have that freedom so you can live your life however you want, whether that means being a digital nomad traveling the world or
Yes.
working from home in your pajamas and taking 3-day weekends.
Oh, it's just, yeah, because like you said, I mean, I loved my previous job to where I worked at, but if I had to choose between doing that and doing what I do today and being able to, pick up my kids if I need to and setting my own schedule, there's so much, as you said, freedom in that. Especially for as women, we want that for our families, for ourselves. So I think that is just amazing that you're doing that.
Thank you, Elke. It is something that I've absolutely fallen in love with. I know firsthand the power of one-on-one coaching. I became double certified in coaching because I love it that much.
Yes.
And I try and share that with my clients, with my Freedom Lifestyle coaching clients, because it's something that is literally life changing. If someone has the difference between working in a 9 to 5, or let's be honest, 8 to 6, which is what it usually is,
Yes.
at least, or being able to set their own hours, work 3 to 4 hours a day,
Mm.
still make money and still support your freedom lifestyle. It's a bit of a no-brainer. So
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
it's what I
Can,
absolutely love.
can you go ahead and tell us where people can find out about you and a little bit more about what you do? And
Absolutely.
just to add, I'll put the link in the comments as well too.
Thank you. So if people are on Facebook, my group is called the Freedom Lifestyle Coach. And you just search for that in the Facebook bar. That group should come up. You ask to join. It is a private group. And there's where I provide huge value for people who are new coaches, people who are looking to grow their coaching business, even people who are looking to become a coach online, how to grow your coaching business and to live a freedom lifestyle using Facebook to attract clients.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me today, Kalila, and sharing all your fantastic wisdom. I was looking to see if there were any comments in the live, but there's no comments. But I'm sure that I'm going to also share it in the Facebook group as well too. So I know you're a part of that group. So if you see any additional comments that come up, that you'll be more than happy to answer them for anyone, because I know that nutrition and having focus and clarity while you're writing. I don't think enough writers realize how much nutrition actually impacts. And I can testify to that. And you've shared some amazing content here today. And I know that the writers who watch it will definitely benefit from the information that you've shared. Thank you so much for joining me today, Kalila.
Thank
I
you so
appreciate
much,
it.
Elke. It has been such a pleasure. I've had such a great time.
Yes, great. Okay, well, we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye, Elke. Take care. Bye.
Ooh.